Hey, my name's Tristan Raphael. I'm a freshman. Currently a secondary education with a concentration in social studies major, but I'm taking psychology. And the new student dialogue that I went to was "What am I?" Dialogue on peer pressure. Uh, the funny thing is, I signed up for a lot of other dialogues, like two more before I did this one, but I didn't go to those because like I didn't like them or whatever. But I went to this one because it was relatively close, and I like to talk a lot or whatever or something. So the new student dialogue that I did was "Who am I?" A dialogue on peer pressure, and it was very active. Like the host or whatever, the two hosts that was there, they kept engaging us to talk, and like it made everybody break out their barriers to get to know one another. Like the active voices in our dialogue was like everybody. So like even if they felt shy in a way, the host there like made them talk or whatever. Like they was really engaging. I know when I was there, I feel that everybody was kind of shy at the beginning, but like they warmed up to the whole environment. But I really enjoyed the new student dialogue on peer pressure because we talked about all types of peer pressure, like relationship peer pressure, friendship peer pressure, family peer pressure, and everybody kind of related to one another. That's the one thing they were trying to do at my new student dialogue also was break down the barriers between one another, making us like notice that everybody there has something in common with other people. So like even though I was like the only African American in the new student dialogue, I still could relate to the other Caucasian students that were in there with me also. Like a lot of them felt peer pressure between themselves and their families. Like their families had high standards in them when they came into college. Like they want them to achieve at a higher level and be the best they can be. And I felt that same way with my parents that they want me to come here and be the best that I can be, and they're not gonna settle for less or whatever. That's my type of family peer pressure. And a lot of us had like positive friendship peer pressure in a way, like trying to make our friends do better or achieve better and not settle for less. And like that was like one of the main things we talked about was the peer pressure between friendships and stuff. Like in relationships, like your partner making you do something that you don't want to do, or your partner trying to convince you to do something that you don't want to do, or make you try to be more extroverted than introverted. That's what we talked about with the friendship thing. Like, there's a lot of good peer pressure and there's a lot of negative peer pressure, but mostly when we talked about the friendship peer pressure, it was like trying to get one of our shyer friends to be more outgoing. Like that's how you connect with people. If you talk to them, if you get to know them, and we were saying like that's a good peer pressure. But a negative peer pressure is probably like trying to get them to drink, knowing that they don't drink, or we're underage drinking or whatever. That could be a big negative peer pressure. But excuse me. But everybody was like very in tune or whatever. Like they broke us up in groups of two, and like it started off with like people being so nonchalant, like nobody wanted to talk or whatever, like nobody was engaged to talk. But after they broke us up into groups of two, everybody was like ranting and raving on one another. Like even though they started off shy or whatever, they warmed to being confined to another person. Like it kind of was like putting a person on the spot to be around a bunch of other people that they don't know, but when they got that one on one time with another person, it was like, okay, cool. I'm more relaxed. I'm more chill. But everybody was like very engaged. They had us do this chart or whatever, breaking up like ethnicity, race, religion. What else? Uh, a traumatic event that like affects you or whatever, and it made us break it up into what's more important to us. A lot of people pick like being an American or having that pride of being in the United States was a big thing to them. A lot of the males pick being a man or whatever because men can do a lot of things that women can't do, and that like irked the girls. Like one of the dudes said, being a man and being able to watch football and play sports and stuff like that, and the girl was like, I could do the same thing. And then like we all elaborate on like, yeah, y'all could do the same thing, but watching the game of football or playing the game of football means more to us in a way because we could go out there and show our skill. Like we could like show puff out our chest and be like, yeah, I'm masculine or whatever. The females don't seem to understand that how we connect to football more than they connect to football. But that was a good little topic that we got the whole like group talking on or whatever. How male and females are different, or how male peer pressure is different than female peer pressure. And we started talking about like the fraternities, sororities, how they have different peer pressure, but like the male fraternity, well, the fraternities have more peer pressure on the students than the sororities have on the girls, because the guys will make you go out and drink or whatever, and go out and party. There's like not that much alternative things to do if you don't want to go out. But with the girls, they have a lot of alternative things. Like a group of girls will be going out, and they'll tell you like we're going out or whatever. But it would also be a separate group of girls who are not going out. So it's either your choice that you could go out with those girls and have a good time, or you could just go to an alternative event and just have a different aspect of a good time or whatever. But the peer pressure thing was like, it made a lot of people open up their eyes, talking about like coming a lot of the Northerners like myself, but I've been down in South Carolina for a long time. We're talking about how it's a peer pressure to be kind, or like you know hold the door for another person. Like when I first came here, I've been in Charleston for a long time, but I never really had to hold the door for anybody. But when you come to Clemson, like people like get out their way to hold the door for you. Like even if you're like really far behind, you hold the door for that person, even though they can get it themselves. And then we were talking about how that's a big peer pressure. Like somebody you holding the door for somebody, and they're like maybe like 4 or 5 steps behind you, and you're just sitting there waiting for them. Like that's just something you do here. Like you're like that's a big peer pressure because a lot of people do it. So all of us was talking about holding the door for somebody that's coming to our dorm. We could see them like you could hold it. You could get into here, and we could see them a far distance away, and we'll hold the door for them. Either they'll start running, or they'll just keep the same pace because they know like we're holding the door or whatever. But we were talking about that coming from the north. That's the big peer pressure because a lot of people don't hold the door. A lot of people don't talk to one another. A lot of people just too busy to do things. But in the south, it's very more family orientated. And we were talking about how that's a big peer pressure. So a lot of the northern kids have changed their views on doing certain things. Like a lot of the northern kids now hold doors for people. Like you could tell the difference between a northern kid and a southern kid just because if they hold the door for you or not. But we were talking about how that's a big peer pressure. Like you're talking about how how being fit was a peer pressure. Like everybody in Clemson seems to be fit. Like everybody either in FICE or they're running around the perimeter of the campus, or they're running in the perimeter of the campus or whatever. And we're talking about how being fit is a peer pressure. And I can see how it is because everybody seems to be fit here. Everybody seems to be active and doing something. So that could be a big peer pressure, but that could also be a big positive peer pressure. And we were talking about how it comes and makes you want to be fit. Like you come here like having to walk to a lot of classes, or you see people riding bikes to classes. Like it makes you want to get in shape. So we were talking about how that's a good peer pressure because we don't want people to be overweight or fat per se. So it was a lot of different aspects of peer pressure that I learned and that I got to understand. But I enjoyed my student dialogue. It was fun. It was engaging. The hosts were awesome. Whatever they made us keep talking about stuff, even if it seemed like we had a little downtime or whatever. They made us pick the conversation back up and engage us in talking. And that was my you know aspect, or my view on my peer pressure. Who am I? And peer pressure on student dialogue. Well, student dialogue on peer pressure.